The term Latino or Hispanic encompasses a variety of nationalities and ethnic groups that have their origins in countries in Latin America and the United States. This territory goes from Argentina, down in Argentina, up to the northwestern United States. San Francisco and San Diego in California, Santa Fe in Nuevo Mexico, or St. Augustine in Florida. These were places where the Spanish Empire at some point held territory in the United States. And people from all those places who share like Latino names and the Spanish language are what we basically known as Latinos or Hispanics in the United States. In Latin America and the American dependencies of the Spanish crown, basically Catholicism was the official religion. And given that they were in the Americas for over 300 years, almost 400 years in the case of the Caribbean, these Catholic heritage remain. One of the things that is going on with the Catholic Latinos is that even though the population of Latino Catholics has gone up, meaning thanks to immigration and natural growth of the Latino population, which is now the second largest ethnic group in the United States, many of those new Latinos are actual Catholic. And for example, of the 11 million that increased in the United States between 1990 and 2008, 9 million are Catholic Latinos. The difference is that even though in 1990 2/3 of Latinos were Catholic, by 2008 this market share reduced to 60%. So even though the number of Catholics, Latino Catholics, has increased over time, their proportion in the Latino population has actually gone down. Other Christian churches have grown and in a way have taken market share from Catholicism, in particular because being such a dominant religion, technically the numbers have nowhere to go but down. The other thing that is going on is the increase in Latino secularism. So the proportion and number of Latinos who don't identify with a particular religion are increasing. This is a phenomenon that is also happening within the larger American population, but it's also at the same rate occurring among the Latino population. And actually over the last 20 years, this is the group that has grown the most. In 1990, just under 1 million Latinos identified with no religion. By 2008, this number quadrupled to over 3.5 million, and their proportion increased, or basically doubled, from 6% to 12%. In addition, less than 1% of Latinos claim that they didn't know or refuse to answer the religious identification question. So the changes that have been happening over the last 20 years among the Latino population are due, from our perspective, for three main reasons. First, Americanization. Second, a combination of age and education. And third, a marriage. I'm going to start with Americanization. And basically what we're meaning with this term is the cultural changes that have occurred within the Latino population. People who are second, third generation Latinos whose parents came from Latin America or the Caribbean or have been here in the United States for generations. And these people tend to speak the English language. They probably don't watch too much Spanish or TV or radio, and have been going to school in the United States. We have some evidence that Latinos who speak English mostly, or Latinos who are bilingual, are much less likely than Latinos who are primarily Spanish speakers to be Catholic. We also see this with age and immigration status. Latinos who have been here a longer time are much more likely to be Protestants or to claim that they have no religion. And another evidence that we are seeing is in age. So younger Latinos are much more likely to identify as nuns or to identify with other Christian religions than with Catholicism. Among this population that it's young and highly educated, Catholicism is actually going down. And finally, the third factor is marriage. And basically our data suggests that among Latinos, it's occurring a lot of intermarriage between people from different religions or non-religions. And this might be leading to a self-secularization of the Latinos in the sense that they don't want to emphasize too much religion at home, and this may lead the younger generations to actually identify more as nuns because they want to avoid at home what we call family holy wars. So Latino nuns tend to be heavily male, very young and well educated. which is actually very similar to the trends that we see in the general American population. The implications for having an increasing number of Latino knowns means that the United States might be secularizing faster than at probably previous rates, or at least from our findings from between 1990 and 2008. Secularism is not an alien concept for Latinos or people from Latin America. Uruguay is one of the most secular countries in the world, and with less than half the population claiming to have a religious identification according to their own census. Mexico in the 1850s, 1857 precisely, had a secular constitution, which was reiterated in 1917 after the Mexican Revolution. And in Mexico City in 2010 and in Argentina in 2010 became the first places to legalize same-sex marriage, even though they have a lot of opposition from religious groups, in particular the dominant religious group in their own countries, that was the Catholic Church. Secularism is not a concept alien to Latinos, but Latinos in the United States are actually giving it an American twist, probably a little bit more tolerant, a little bit more under the radar than in-your-face secularism from earlier parts of the 20th and 19th century.